Hey guys, it's Artista here. Thank you for clicking on the video. We are in the Peak District, and today I thought I could talk a little bit about my experience of having an electric bike compared to having my new petrol bike. So if you aren't familiar with the channel, we do a lot of videos around Peak District, go on little adventures and make kind of how-to videos and just general stuff that hopefully you guys are interested in. So to fill you in, the first bike that I got was a SuperSoco TX Max. I got that about a year ago after completing my CBT, and it was great. Like, I was a huge fan of it. It's fully electric. It can go up to about 60, 65. Normally I'd charge it overnight because it does take about 8 hours to charge. Once it is charged, you can get like a good, I'd say a good 2 hours of solid driving out of it, with a mix of like city driving and going a bit faster as well. If you're using it just for general commuting, then I reckon you could get, I don't know, like almost a whole day out of riding it potentially. So yeah, it was a great bike. I think it's made in China. I think it's a China bike, and it has like a built-in alarm. It was really comfy actually to ride, had good suspension. It was kind of cool just knowing that you don't need to go and fill up anywhere. You save a lot of money on petrol because you're able to obviously just plug it in and charge it at home. So they were some of the best bits about the bike. I also found it quite easy to ride because it was an automatic, so I didn't have to worry about doing gears. So when you're on your first bike as well and you're kind of learning, it does make things easier. So that was another good aspect of it. There was space on the back for a pillion passenger, but as on my CBT, it wasn't something that I would have done anyway. But yeah, it was a really cool bike, and it was kind of sad when I sold it. So the reason I sold it was that I am about to look at doing my direct access scheme and get my full license. But to do that, I'm going to need to do the test on the geared bike. Like, I looked into doing it on an automatic, but it's just not possible because it just didn't seem like there were any driving schools that were able to accommodate that. And I think if you pass on an automatic license, you can only drive automatic motorbikes, and I would like the freedom to be able to choose which bike I'd like to ride. So I didn't want to be limited, even though I did do my CBT on automatic. But that's kind of different because you are allowed to drive a manual bike even if you do your CBT on the automatic license. So that's a bit about the electric bike. Now I'll tell you kind of my experience with a petrol bike. So the first thing I'll say is that it is a lot more fun driving petrol, in my opinion. Like, hearing those revs, you don't get that on the electric. It's really quiet. It does still make some kind of cool, I guess, futuristic type noises, but it's not as satisfying as like revving the motorcycle. And changing gears is actually, I quite enjoy changing gears and the whole experience of driving this kind of bike. So yeah, I quite enjoy the experience of driving a petrol bike. The good thing about the electric was that it was quite nippy. So if you're doing filtering or you're like out for lights, you can drive and get off the line a lot faster than with the petrol. But one downside to the electric is that if you want to go like on a long drive somewhere, you're kind of screwed because, well, at least with my bike, it would only charge on like a normal household outlet, and it took about 8 hours, so you can only get a couple hours drive out of it. I did have some plans, like I thought, oh, maybe I could like get an Airbnb and then charge it while I stay over there, but in the end I just thought I'm kind of limited by this, so I prefer to get on the petrol bike. But I'd say if you want to go on like proper adventures and travel far, you need to really get the petrol bike, unless you're going to get a really expensive like a but cool bike like the Harley Livewire. If you get something like that, I think that actually charges on the same charges as electric cars, so you can charge at a service station. It charges a lot quicker, and it's a proper like touring or adventure bike. At least that's what it looks like to me. So I feel like I've given a lot of different points, good and bad, but I would say if you just want something to have fun with and go out for a couple hours, and you're conscious about the planet, you want to save money, then the electric bike is a good one. Or like if you want to do you commute with it, things like that, I'd say go electric. If you want to go on some bigger adventures and you want to feel more like excited and you know, you want those revs and you want to be able to do the gear changes, then you should go for petrol instead. But it is a tough one. There's pros and cons to both. You know, I am considering getting another electric one in the future. I know Harley are making some other bikes that aren't going to be as expensive as the Livewire, so I think they're coming out next year. Well, I think some have already come out, a small batch, but they're going to do a mainstream batch next year, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's kind of my experience. I hope it's interesting, and if you're new and you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Alright, peace out.